First of all, I gotta thank you guys for tuning in and watching this video. Your time is precious. You could be doing anything else. Obviously, the title caught your attention, and rightfully so. So, the first thing that I want to say before I address the title of my video is this issue has been sitting with me for some time now. I've heard about narcissists. I've heard about narcissism for quite a while. And the thing that we have to address is, there's so much like fear associated with this word. There's so many people who feel disempowered at the hands of someone who has been labeled as a narcissist. And what I'm saying is, when I say that narcissists and narcissism really isn't all that bad, is because the purpose of this video is to disempower this energy and this hype that keeps growing behind something that really is just attributed to a very insecure fucking person. I said it. That's what it boils down to. So I gotta say, and I apologize in advance, because my heart is to really be sensitive as best as I can to, if you've been at the hands of a narcissist. I want to be sensitive to your condition. I want to be sensitive to your experience, because you have felt a level of mind shifting, unsettling trauma that you were trying to reestablish your equilibrium, all at the hands of somebody who has not established that for themselves. So, with that being said, we got to stop hyping up this word. We got to really start calling it out for what it is. And simply, it is an insecure person who has not dealt with their shit and is putting it on you. And what that boils down to is we as humans, we as people, reestablishing firm and healthy boundaries. We are emotive communicators at heart. We love to share. It's in our nature as children to give and to, be transparent and to not put up walls. And we come in contact with someone when all we want to do is just share. All we want to do is be loving and free. And we come in contact with an individual for whatever reason, received conditioning from somebody who probably exhibited these insecure behaviors in and of them, like exhibited those behaviors themselves, and then transferred it to the child, who now has to deal with, who hasn't learned a healthy way to cope. So if you have a parent who, because their parents were insecure and they haven't found a healthy means to rebalance themselves without putting that on their child, they've accepted that internal behavior as okay, and this is how I am going to manage my life, and without recourse, without any kind of accountability. They transfer that onto a nurturing, open child who says, just love me. I want to be loved. I'll do anything for you. I love you. And then this person begins to play games. Well, if you really love me, you do this. Or your brother or sister, it's like a competition. Well, your brothers, they do such and such. So, if you really loved me, then you would do what they would do. Or punishing one child at the hands of the other, like so-and-so is getting toys. If you were good, you'd get toys too. Or it's like putting the child down and then lying about it ever happening. Like telling the child, oh, well, come on now. that was in your head. I didn't do that. You know I love you. I would never do that to you. And this insistent lying and then playing on the emotions of the child, where the child has to, at a very young and vulnerable age, say, well, what they did was wrong. Their actions were wrong, but their words are saying something else. So I love them, and they're saying that they didn't mean it. So I'm going to trust their words, and they're my mom or my dad, and I have nobody else to take care of me. So I guess we just gotta, I have no choice. And that can arrange to a multitude, just a varying forms of abuse over the course of one's childhood. And without having someone tell or show them a healthy example and say, that's wrong. What your parents are doing to you is not healthy. Let me show you a better way. And pointing out that bad behavior and giving them a constructive, a better example to follow. Without that, that child grows up into an adult, probably stuffed it. They got all these stuffed emotions. And if they haven't realized that it's something, and I talk with my hands a lot, if they haven't realized that it's an issue, they will carry that as a form of survival, as a form of manipulation, and they will carry that behavior as that is what's normal to proceed in their future relationships. One. Two, they may seek out that behavior in somebody else. So they may seek out a insecure personality trait or type in somebody else. And or they may exhibit, or they may look for somebody who is prey that they can play this game with. And really what it, like I keep saying, it all boils down to is this person is highly insecure. Now, and this is not at all to discount some of your experiences, because some of them have been damn near fatal. Like, you could have been in a position where you could have lost your life. They drove you to suicide, or they threatened your life, or they threatened to commit suicide themselves. Our body is a life force. You see all that behind me? Our body is a light force, and those light forces need to be in a state of balance in order for us to be happy, high functioning, contributing members of our communities. So I say that is that you can have someone and they can be capable of dark behavior because they're so far out of balance and so far removed from the light. So, when you hear of people who say, oh, well, they're controlling, and they showed up at my door with a gun or a knife, or they, in the middle of the night, they tried to, do X, Y, and Z. I am not negating that. That is dangerous. The only thing that I am wanting to bring into the light and to suggest for whoever is listening to this to gauge for themselves is not, and definitely not to test your life with this theory, because what they're doing is dangerous and wrong. But a lot of times it's a threat. It's a threatening behavior that they're wanting to test your reaction. They're wanting to see how you are going to respond. And I'm not going to say all the time, because you have some people who are just so far removed into the darkness, out of the light, that they can just be in deep agreement with negativity and darkness, that they're capable of going through with it. And in those cases, obviously, protect yourself, call the authorities, do what you need to do to keep those healthy boundaries. And even though that's an extreme example, my point of it is saying is that they're looking for a reaction out of you. And I find for myself, because obviously I wouldn't be talking about this if I hadn't had firsthand experience, what I have to do is cut myself off, cut myself out, and see what they're looking for is energy. What they're looking for, it's like, I'm trying to look for the example, but they're looking for a connection. They're looking for something that, some energy that they can still pull on to pull you in. But if you ask yourself, if somebody asks you to do something that you're not interested in, that you don't want to do, that you don't like, that you don't want to eat, there's nothing in you connected to that where you even got to think about it. It's just like, I don't want that. I'm not interested in that. You don't have any receptors open. And if you are willing to receive this, what we collectively have to do with these people who are highly insecure is close one by one, step by step, baby step, keep drawing back, and do not let them in. Cut them out. Because, and I am not wanting to put the blame, but a part of it, we are participating in that. And what we're trying to do is give empathy and understanding to the person that we love. But in that person, there is a force and an energy that is operating that is not good. It is not healthy. And that person needs to come out of agreement with that. And what we need to do collectively is to starve that negativity and examine within ourselves, where are we giving this energy? How are we participating in this? And how can we healthily keep our guard up, keep that boundary intact, so we are not giving in on a good day when they seem nice today. Oh, well, that's exactly what they want. They want you to be open. They want you to think the fantasy and the fairy tale. And because maybe you're empathic, whatever you just want to be around, you just want to be nice, you're kind, you're giving. It's natural for us to want to share. That door is again open, and that's exactly what they want, is to keep continuing to play this game. And I've said it many times. I'm done. I'm not playing this. And what that really involves is a systematic boundary, one day at a time, and just saying, you know what, this is what, depending on, especially if you have a child with this person, if you're still married to them, whatever the case may be, if they're your parents, my God, being able to separate the person that you care for and their behavior. Their behavior is not okay. And their behavior is affecting your health. And you are more important. You can't be alive if you're not here. So if your guard is not protected, if your heart is not protected, you do a service to nobody. So I really do not care. Mom, dad, husband, partner, whatever, sibling, you and only you have to be able to find that balance and ask yourself, okay, I love this person. Obviously, I care for them. How do I keep that boundary so I'm safe? Maybe you ignore them. Maybe you just remove yourself emotionally and you don't get involved. And they'll pick up on that. And then they'll want to pry. recognize that, but recognize it that that's what it is. Until you see an adequate change in their behavior, like consistent change in their behavior over time, they are not deserving of any extra energy that you could give to them. They're not. They haven't proved themselves. It's like going in for a job interview. You are not going to give the job to somebody. You're not going to give the promotion to somebody who has not proven themselves. So stop promoting these people in your life. Stop promoting them in a place of closeness and close proximity to you if they don't deserve it. If you have a promotion open for an assistant and that assistant is close to you, is this person worthy of that promotion back into your heart and in your life? And if not, that's some inner boundary work that only you can do, where you have to ask yourself, okay, where am I? What do I want? How does this feel? What is the result that I'd like to get for myself? Forget out of this, because there is no result. This is a cycle that will continue and will never end, and that's exactly what they want. They do not want an end. They do not want progress. But we keep entering in this cycle with them because that's what we want. We are looking for things to get better. When we keep getting our head beat up against the wall, figuratively, not in all cases, and we just gotta say, stop. I'm getting hurt too much, and I don't know how many days I have left on this earth, and I'm sure as hell not going to give them to you. So that is what we need to say. So when I say narcissists aren't really all that bad, that's exactly what I mean. Stop hyping them up for the shit show that they're not. Stop hyping them up. They are not worthy of the title of being called such a thing. When at the end of the day, these people are highly insecure, and we need to acknowledge that. And then on top of that, we need to somewhat address it, but not with them, because they are not ready to receive any love, any compassion, any empathy that you would like to share with them. That is some inner work that they need to do, and that only they are responsible for. You are not their mother. You are not their father. You are not their parent. You are not their caregiver. You are not their caretaker. It is not your job and your responsibility to manage their life, because you have your own. They don't care about yours, and they're using you to care for theirs. So we got to acknowledge that. They're insecure. I know that there was another point, but that's okay. But they are insecure at best. With that being said, no empathy. No empathy. These people are not deserving of compassion. Not because they're monsters. They're really just hurt children who have not found a healthy means to deal with their own unrest, their restlessness, whatever, their instabilities and imbalances within themselves. Whether it be really mental, psychosocial, with all that other stuff, chemical, whatever the case may be, they haven't taken the responsibility to work on themselves. But that's not your place. And on top of that, you can have empathy, you can have compassion, but you got to keep that at a distance, because they are not deserving of that, especially if they have not consistently shown to you over time apologies, some, not even apologies, but a change in their character and a change in their behavior consistently over time. If they have not repented, if they have not shown a change in heart, if they haven't said to you, I really effed up. I'm not asking you to forgive me. I'm going to work on myself. And with that, you see the progress. But if you're not seeing that, they don't care. They're not ready yet. So be blessed. I hope that that provides some guidance for you moving forward in your journey. And I thank you so much for listening.